teacher, nutritionist, dietitian, economist, an independent senator who proposed the coming on stream of the school's feeding program, author, and charity social worker. Those are just some of the career attributes of Dame Louise Matilda Horne. Dame Louise was born on May 13, 1931, to parents James and Alcina. As a child, Louise recalled that her no-nonsense mother taught her many of the attributes she possesses today.
So my mother was very particular about speech. You know how important speech is, how you speak and whatnot.
She recalled that as a child, she had one major vice.
I like salt. You had 2 mango trees in the yard, pomme de terre, all those trees. You understand? So I ain't looking for ripe mango and ripe pomme de terre. I pick in green. You understand? And that with salt. And I want salt to carry to school.
Miss Horne also had big dreams of becoming a lawyer, but she had to change career paths after her father frowned on her dream profession.
I said I would like to be a lawyer. Papi said, lawyer? Decent woman don't go in the courthouse? So with that, if Papi says so, is that it? So I decided, well, I will be a teacher, and then when I get to be a teacher, I could fix up myself and be a lawyer after.
A past student of the Arima Girls Government, the long-standing and multi-awarded Arima resident, recalled that in her early days as a teacher at the Arima Boys Government Primary School, one of her Standard 3 students was a boy named Aldwin Roberts. Roberts, who would later be known as the Mighty Kitchener, never obeyed the instructions of his grammar teacher, Miss Horne, but she recognized that he had a special gift.
And so, very early in my teaching and teaching this subject, afternoon, when I said, now we will get the homework, good. Everybody else could come up and recite the two verses that I asked. He can recite, he writes something, he write, yes? Now, not far from Arima Boys Government School in another street, you had a woman there who was very well endowed by nature, you know? And so he was writing about the woman, how it is to climb Mount Olga.
Miss Horne served as secretary to the State Ball in 1962 and the Agricultural and Industrial Exhibition as preparations took place to celebrate independence. Her training and expertise from her studies in London with respect to the protective services allowed her to take care of the catering facilities for the regiment and the Coast Guard. From 1963 to February 1964, her services were requested to assist in the organization of the distribution of food in Tobago after Hurricane Flora of 1963 left the sister isle devastated. In 1970, Dame Louise was asked to investigate the dietary requirements for the police and the prison services in Port of Spain and those detained at Nelson Island. In addition, she represented the government of Trinidad and Tobago at a Dietetic Congress in London in 1961 and in Sweden in 1965. She also represented this country in 1968 at the International Congress on Home Economics in Bristol, and later in 1970 was a representative at the Caribbean Food and Nutrition Institute in Bridgetown, Barbados. It was as a result of this illustrious career, which took her from the teaching service to the Ministry of Health throughout Europe and the wider Caribbean, that Miss Horne was recognized by Sir Ellis Clarke, Trinidad and Tobago's first president.
In doing that, I thought I'd find a woman who would be appointed not simply because of her gender, but because of her special capabilities. Louise Horne is someone who has had a long career of service. She's someone who is truly independent, not in any way aligned to this, that, or the other, but somebody who has her own views and whose fundamental philosophies were the same as mine.
She said when he asked her to become an independent senator in 1976, she gladly accepted.
I was grateful, or I am grateful, that I got the opportunity.
Despite the fact that she had been tapped by the president to sit in the upper house, Ms. Horne says she's never considered herself political.
I never joined any political organization. That was never for me, because you had to obey, even when they tell you exactly what you think. So I stayed as an independent right through. And I enjoyed myself. You hear what I tell you?
Good.
When you're able to put forward your viewpoint without confusing anybody else, you could say what you think about a thing.
As a pioneering woman in the Senate, Ms. Horne is disappointed that not enough women are getting involved with politics.
You need women who don't belong to any political party, but they have their own points of view as to life and living, what it is we really need in this country.
But the woman who in her maiden speech in the Senate first called for the school feeding program to be introduced in this country has mixed views on the way the program has been developed.
I would say yes and no. Yes, yes, because I wanted the children to get the food, and no, because what they plan to cook, you understand, is not exactly what I wanted them to do.
Ms. Horne's philosophy is based on understanding one's history. She says if you don't know where you have come from, you will never understand where you are going. And so, to help enlighten the younger generation, at age 91, Ms. Horne literally took pen to paper and wrote The Evolution of Modern Trinidad and Tobago.
For example, what we have now, the big problem with our children, the sort of things that are happening in schools and whatnot, how that really started. Then they have to know that the Americans sent down here, and when they came down, that they brought 30,000 men. You know about that? And you know that the 30,000 men didn't come here really because to protect us in the war, you know. They came because England wanted ships from America, and it wasn't a money business, but it was America decided, all right, we could give it the ships, but we have been 30,000 people here because we want to be near to South America. We want to have business with them.
At age 94, Ms. Horne is still actively involved in charity work with a number of organizations, including the Arima Historical Society, the Express Children's Fund, the Trinidad and Tobago Blind Welfare Association, the Coterie of Social Workers of Trinidad and Tobago Incorporated, and the Seroptimus Club of Port of Spain. When she isn't busy doing charity work, Ms. Horne devotes her time to her garden, music, and handicraft. She has left an indelible mark on many people from around the world, including nutritionists, social workers, teachers, and parliamentarians.